Today, I invite you to embark on a transformative journey where each thought, memory, and emotion will gain a new perspective. Imagine that within you, there is a special mirror. This mirror not only reflects the world around you, but also reveals the deepest corners of your soul. It is your portal to the enigmatic universe of the subconscious. But why does this matter? Have you ever stopped to think about what truly guides your choices? What is hidden behind the decisions you make every day? This mirror is more than just a metaphor. It represents the subconscious, the true driver of many of our actions. Have you ever noticed how some memories emerge while others remain hidden? Or how, at times, it feels like our thoughts dominate us and our emotions take control, leaving us as passengers in our own lives? But what if I told you that we can understand and, in some way, control what this mirror reflects? What if we could influence what rises to the surface? Today, we will explore together the hidden power of this inner mirror and uncover how it shapes your decisions, behaviors, and even your destiny. Because believe me, many of the choices you make are not entirely your own. They are influenced by this mirror, this inner reflection that operates within the subconscious, shaping your every step without you even realizing it. The subconscious is an invisible force that constantly shapes our decisions, behaviors, and even our dreams. It operates silently but powerfully, influencing our lives without us realizing it. Interestingly, this process has been at work for a long time, and you can interpret it as either the result of chance or a path drawn by destiny, depending on your perspective. Now, imagine a vast ocean covered by a thick layer of ice. Our consciousness is like the surface of that ocean, clear and sharp, where everything seems visible. But just beneath, the ice acts as a translucent bridge, connecting the surface with the unknown depths, where almost forgotten memories and feelings reside. Our thoughts quickly arise at the edge of consciousness, like reflections shining on a layer of transparent water. However, the real mystery lies in the depths. The subconscious is a vast ocean, full of powerful forces and latent wisdom. It is where our dreams, fears, and hidden desires are born. Invisible currents from this ocean shape what we see on the surface, controlling our actions and reactions, often without us being fully aware. The subconscious is responsible for fearing the unknown, making us act on autopilot, and even bringing up memories we'd prefer to forget. As Sigmund Freud famously said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." It is in this reflection that subconscious processes occur, guiding our choices, even when we believe we are in control. But what exactly does this mirror reflect? And why does it have such a crucial influence on our lives? While you sleep, your body rests, but the same cannot be said for your mind. At that moment, the subconscious takes over and begins working intensely. It is the true creator of your dreams, shaping every scene and image you see. However, the most fascinating aspect is that dreams are windows into understanding what happens in the depths of the mind. It is in these moments that the subconscious reveals our fears, desires, and internal conflicts that we often ignore during the day. Have you ever wondered why some dreams feel incredibly real, while others are a jumble of disconnected images? Nothing is by chance. Every dream, no matter how strange it may seem, is a clue left by the subconscious, a fragment of the puzzle of our psyche. When we begin to pay closer attention to these dreams, we realize they carry hidden messages, offering valuable insights about ourselves. But how can we decipher what is hidden beneath the surface? How can we access this inner mirror? The answer, though simple, requires dedication. It demands constant inner work. Practices like meditation, self-reflection, and recognizing emotional triggers are essential tools for this journey. They help us uncover the mysteries of the subconscious, bringing to light what was once hidden. Before embarking on this journey of self-discovery, it's crucial to remember that the subconscious is not our enemy. In fact, it is a powerful ally, always working to protect us. It hides from us what we are not yet ready to face. However, as we grow emotionally and gain more strength, it begins to reveal its secrets, allowing us to handle what was once beyond our reach. These subconscious secrets have the power to transform our lives, although at first glance, this may not be obvious. This is because the conscious and subconscious often operate in disharmony, as if they were two parts speaking different languages. To unlock this potential, it's essential to create a clear dialogue between them, like a translator facilitating communication. Over time, you will start to establish a deeper connection with your subconscious. Triggers are those subtle and invisible mechanisms that suddenly make us feel intense emotions or lead to unexpected reactions. It could be a melody, a scent, or a familiar image that, without warning, awakens an old memory. But why does this happen? How do these triggers connect us to the hidden world of the subconscious? The explanation lies in the fact that the subconscious records absolutely everything we experience, every sound, smell, and sensation. When something reminds us of a specific moment from the past, it immediately reactivates the associated emotions, whether fear, joy, regret, or any other feeling. These triggers are the keys that allow us to access the depths of the mind, bringing to the surface stored experiences that can deeply influence our actions and decisions. And what if we could use this force to our benefit? Instead of allowing the subconscious to control our reactions automatically, we can learn to consciously choose how to respond, using triggers to improve our emotional state. You might be wondering, how can we connect with this inner mirror that reflects our deepest emotions and thoughts? One of the most effective ways to communicate with the subconscious is through images. The subconscious doesn't understand words like the conscious mind does. It responds to symbols, gestures, and visualizations. That's why learning to speak its language is essential. Visualization, for example, is a powerful tool. By mentally creating images that evoke strong emotions or associations, you can trigger reactions in the subconscious, positively influencing your emotional and mental state. You can try this right now. Close your eyes and visualize a place that brings peace and tranquility, like a serene beach or a calm mountain. Stay in that place for a few minutes, allowing yourself to completely relax. Did you notice how your inner state changed? This is a clear example of how the subconscious responds to symbols and images, adjusting your emotions according to what it perceives. Now that we've started to understand how this inner mirror works, the natural question is, how can this knowledge transform our lives? The answer is simple, yet powerful. By communicating effectively with the subconscious, we can overcome old fears, reprogram limiting beliefs, and eventually shape a new direction for our lives. How many times have you asked yourself why certain patterns keep repeating in your life? Could the relationships you have today be influenced by beliefs and fears from the past? What would your life be like if you could transform your subconscious from a silent enemy into a powerful ally? Imagine that each of your actions is a direct reflection of what is stored in your subconscious. If you can alter this inner source, you will see changes in what happens externally as well. The mirror will begin to reflect a new reality, and that new reality will be completely under your control. The mystery of the subconscious is not something that can be quickly unraveled. It is an ongoing process that requires dedication and patience. However, those who venture down this path will discover that behind this mirror lie answers to many of the questions they've carried throughout life. Most importantly, when you face this mirror, you will begin to see your true essence, that part of yourself that is often overlooked amidst the hustle and bustle of everyday life. When we talk about working with the subconscious, we're not referring to superficial observation. Think of it as the gradual opening of many doors. Each door reveals a new space, full of symbols and memories, and each has a specific key that grants access to these depths. But what exactly are these keys? A simple example is your daily habits and the automatic reactions you have to the world around you. Every day, you experience emotions and make decisions, but often you don't realize that these reactions are guided by your subconscious. The habit of drinking a cup of coffee in the morning, your response to a sudden sound, or even your food preferences. These are all reflections of the keys that unlock doors to your inner world. Some keys, however, we tend to hide from ourselves because they awaken emotions or memories we prefer to avoid. Interestingly, these are the keys with the greatest transformative potential, as they open the doors to areas of our lives we often ignore or repress. To move forward, It is essential to recognize these moments and consciously address them. You've probably heard the phrase, "The subconscious controls us." But did you know that it can become your greatest ally if you learn how to communicate with it properly? Instead of letting the subconscious automatically react to events, it's possible to learn how to work in partnership with it. Think of your subconscious as an old computer, programmed many years ago. It's still running outdated software that no longer aligns with your current goals and desires. These programs were created in childhood, perhaps during the first challenges you faced. But now, as an adult, you have the opportunity to rewrite these programs, update them, and adjust them to reflect the reality you want to create. So how do you turn the subconscious into a partner? The first step is to start observing yourself carefully. Notice your reactions and realize that they often have deep roots in past experiences. Whenever you feel fear, anxiety, or doubt, try to look beyond the surface and understand what is triggering that reaction. Over time, by adjusting your internal dialogue, you can transform the subconscious from a silent enemy into a powerful ally, helping you live more fully and consciously. Does the subconscious influence how we relate to others? Social interaction is one of the main areas where the subconscious manifests, as we are deeply connected to our social environment. The way we build relationships, respond to conflicts, and understand love and friendship is directly tied to the patterns stored in the subconscious. These patterns often have their roots in childhood. The dynamics we observed between our parents or caregivers shaped what we consider normal or ideal in our current relationships. Perhaps here lies the answer to why certain types of relationships repeat in your life, or why you encounter the same challenges in different situations. Without realizing it, we often project our fears and expectations onto our relationships. For example, if during childhood you experienced insecurities or fear of rejection, your subconscious tends to seek confirmation of those fears in your adult interactions. You might avoid opening up to new people because deep down, you fear being rejected again. However, by becoming aware of these mechanisms, you can begin to change them. With this understanding, it becomes possible to recognize that your fears are merely reflections of old patterns, not a truth about your present experiences. The beliefs we carry from an early age do not have to dictate our lives forever. It's essential to realize that the subconscious does not aim to limit you. It only tries to protect you from threats it recognized in the past. Now, with more maturity and understanding, you have the chance to free yourself from these barriers and create relationships based on conscious choices and true inner freedom. The past is always present in our lives, even though we often don't remember the details. Our subconscious works like a silent chronicle, recording every significant moment. Sometimes, memories we thought were forgotten resurface unexpectedly, bringing up feelings we can't immediately understand. This mirror of time, which reflects past events, often acts subtly. Even if we don't remember a childhood experience where we felt vulnerable, the subconscious does and protects us in similar future situations by triggering reactions that seem automatic. This influence reveals itself in subtle ways, in the decisions we make, in how we respond to criticism or praise, and even in how we manage our careers. The reality is that by recognizing the impact of the past on our present, it's like looking into a mirror and realizing that the reflection may not be an objective truth, but rather a version distorted by our past experiences. The subconscious is not just a hidden mechanism working behind the scenes. It is an integral part of who we are, and we can learn to interact with it consciously to improve our quality of life. It functions like a mirror, reflecting our inner world. And by understanding this, we open new doors to self-awareness. The key to accessing this mirror is consciousness. As you become more aware of your internal processes, your perception of the world around you becomes sharper, and you gain more control over your present and future. It is important to remember that the mystery of the subconscious is not something you unravel all at once. It is a journey of self-discovery that unfolds throughout your entire life. How can dreams reveal answers to the challenges you face in your daily life? Can we reprogram our most deeply rooted habits and transform our reality? Although work with the subconscious is often associated with fields like psychology or philosophy, Science has also actively explored this phenomenon. Recent neuroscience research confirms the crucial role of the subconscious in decision-making, how we perceive the world, and how we regulate our behavior. I created my own metaphor to explain how the subconscious works. Imagine the planet Earth seen from the side. We have the surface, where trees, houses, and everything we know and interact with daily are located. This surface represents our consciousness, where our everyday thoughts circulate. Above it, there is the sky, a barrier that separates us from something deeper. This sky symbolizes our beliefs and fears, which often limit our perception and understanding of what lies beyond. Our habits, often unconscious, play a fundamental role in our daily actions. Beyond this barrier exists the inner cosmos, vast, infinite, filled with stars, planets, and surprises. This internal universe holds our deepest feelings, our intuition, and even the answers to questions we can't solve in our day-to-day lives. To explore this inner cosmos, we first need to understand the sky that limits us, the beliefs and fears we've created throughout our lives. When we overcome this layer, we begin to access the vast world of the subconscious, full of ideas, emotions, and new possibilities. Just as in outer space, to explore this internal universe, we must pass through our own emotional and mental atmosphere to reach the depths of the subconscious. From a scientific perspective, one way to study the subconscious is through functional magnetic resonance imaging, which allows us to observe changes in brain activity. Studies reveal that the brain begins making decisions seconds before we become consciously aware of them. In experiments where participants were asked to press a button in response to a stimulus, scientists observed that the brain areas responsible for decision-making were activated before the participants became aware of their choice, demonstrating the hidden power of the subconscious. Studies have shown that what we often believe to be a conscious decision is, in fact, the result of unconscious information processing. In the 1980s, neurophysiologist Benjamin Libet conducted a pioneering experiment that revolutionized our understanding of human will and decision-making. He discovered that an electrical activity in the brain, known as readiness potential, emerged 300 to 500 milliseconds before a person became aware of their intention to perform an action. These findings gave rise to the hypothesis that many of our actions begin to be prepared at unconscious levels. Later research deepened this idea, revealing that the decision-making process can start 7 to 10 seconds before a person becomes fully aware of their choice. This suggests that the brain, subconsciously, processes information and prepares responses before the conscious mind is aware of what is happening. Another significant discovery in the field of the subconscious was the identification of the so-called default mode network. This network is activated when we are not focused on a specific task, and our mind begins to wander. This state, also known as automatic mode, is when the subconscious takes an active role, processing memories, thoughts, and information. This network plays a vital role in creativity, problem-solving, and the construction of our identity. Studies show that even at rest, the brain continues to process experiences and memories, allowing insights and creative solutions to emerge without conscious effort. Additionally, the subconscious integrates new experiences and creates internal representations that facilitate the intuitive resolution of complex tasks. Science has also discovered that emotions play a crucial role in this process. A central concept is micro-emotions, which are brief, unconscious manifestations of feelings that the brain detects before we become aware of them. These subtle emotions can influence our decisions and perceptions, even if we don't notice them directly. If you've ever felt an instinctive like or dislike for someone without knowing exactly why, it's likely that your behavior changes according to these micro-emotions. This instinctive reaction we have towards certain people or situations, even without a rational explanation, is the result of our subconscious at work. It picks up on subtle signals and influences us in ways we often overlook, which is why it's important to pay attention to these intuitive responses. Many women, for example, report having sensed a betrayal or even dreamed of their partner's phone password, discovering information that confirmed their suspicions. Although less common, men also experience this type of intuition, but they are more likely to suppress their emotions, behaving like real, concrete walls. These cases clearly demonstrate how the subconscious picks up on signals that the conscious mind has not yet perceived. Additionally, the subconscious plays a crucial role in solving creative problems. When we are relaxed, the brain enters a state called default mode, where it combines different fragments of information collected throughout the day. This is why we often have creative ideas during activities like walking, moments before sleep, or even in the shower. In these situations, without the pressure of active concentration, the subconscious can connect the dots and present us with innovative solutions. Another fundamental concept related to the subconscious is neuroplasticity. This scientific discovery reveals that the brain is capable of modifying and adapting based on new experiences. This means we can not only reprogram our conscious habits, but also change deeply ingrained beliefs in the subconscious. When we consistently repeat certain thoughts or behaviors, we create new neural connections. Over time, these connections strengthen, becoming part of our automatic behavior. This process explains why practices like meditation, affirmations, and visualizations are effective in shaping the subconscious. Although the brain initially resists change because old connections are still stronger, the repetition of new patterns gradually makes the new connections more robust. Continuous work with the subconscious is a powerful tool for transforming your reality. This happens because by modifying old beliefs and habits, you establish new patterns that directly influence your behavior and consequently, your life. For example, if you want to react more calmly and positively to stressful situations, you need to regularly practice new responses that involve calmness and constructive emotions. Over time, your brain will begin to form new neural pathways, preferring these new routes over the old ones, which will gradually weaken. Interestingly, the functioning of the subconscious can be compared to the neural networks used in artificial intelligence. These artificial neural networks mimic, to some extent, the functioning of the human brain. Just like the brain, they learn based on past experiences, forming complex connections between different fragments of data. They are fed large volumes of information and over time improve their ability to solve problems. The subconscious operates in a similar way, processing vast amounts of data, including memories, emotional reactions, and sensory stimuli. When a neural network faces a new challenge, it uses previously accumulated data to generate a solution or prediction. In the same way, the subconscious relies on already acquired experience to make decisions, often more quickly and accurately than the conscious mind. This explains why intuitive decisions are often correct. The subconscious has already analyzed the information and anticipated the best outcome. Science has already proven that even while we sleep, the subconscious continues to work intensely. During the REM phase, when the eyes move rapidly, the brain revisits the information accumulated throughout the day, organizes memories, and even solves problems. Studies indicate that during this time, the brain simulates possible future scenarios and evaluates outcomes as a way of preparing for what is to come. There are several scientifically based techniques that can help you harness the power of the subconscious more effectively, especially during sleep. The first technique is to set an intention before going to bed. Before lying down, focus on a problem or task you want to solve and mentally request your subconscious to find the answer. During sleep, your brain will continue to process the issue, potentially providing solutions when you wake up. Another effective practice is keeping a dream journal. By recording your dreams immediately upon waking, you can gain valuable insights into what is happening in your subconscious and how these processes connect with your daily life. A third technique is to explore lucid dreaming. Research shows that during a lucid dream, you can interact more consciously with your subconscious, asking questions, confronting fears, or even investigating deeper desires. This state can be developed with practice and transformed into a powerful tool for self-discovery. Are your emotional reactions being controlled by your subconscious without you even realizing it? How would you handle your emotions if you could understand them before they took control? Often, even when we are determined to reach our goals, we feel that something inside us is blocking the way. It seems that at every step, an invisible barrier arises. This obstacle can manifest as procrastination, rejection of opportunities, fear of success, or persistent self-criticism. This behavior is usually caused by a conflict between what you consciously want and what your subconscious believes. For example, you may desire financial success, but at the same time, carry subconscious beliefs that money is negative or that you are unworthy of it. These deep beliefs lead to self-sabotage, hindering progress. But how do you identify self-sabotage? First, pay attention to moments when you procrastinate or avoid important opportunities. Then, ask yourself what fears or beliefs are behind these actions. Finally, record your thoughts and emotions, looking for patterns that reveal limiting beliefs or hidden fears. Creativity is an area where the subconscious expresses itself with great intensity. When you are engaged in creative activities, such as drawing, composing, or working on a passion project, the subconscious kicks in, bringing unexpected ideas and innovative solutions. How can you awaken this subconscious creativity? The first step is to recognize that since childhood, we often go through a process that distances us from our individuality, especially in school. And it is precisely this individuality that lies at the heart of creativity. To reignite this creative essence, we must challenge our past beliefs and experiences, seek a deeper connection with our subconscious, and explore who we truly are. Keeping a constant record of your thoughts and emotions is a fundamental practice. Ask yourself, why do I think this way? What led me to believe this? This process of self-analysis is crucial for understanding your beliefs. Moreover, creativity is closely linked to emotions. Without emotion, there is no true creation. That's why developing emotional intelligence is so important. When you learn to manage your emotions, you also discover how to create intentionally and consciously. Even during this journey of learning, creativity can emerge spontaneously. For example, after an intense emotional experience, you might feel a sudden need to express yourself, whether through writing music, poetry, personal reflections, or even painting. However, as you master your emotions, you also begin to control your creativity. Over time, creation shifts from being something purely unconscious to becoming a deliberate action, much like managing your emotions. But what does it truly mean to control your emotions? Imagine a situation where you lose your temper. Your subconscious, based on past experiences, has already prepared an automatic response. It generated this reaction without you having full control. This is an unconscious response. Your goal is to transform this automatic reaction into a conscious response. To do this, you need to identify the origin of the emotion. What triggered it? By understanding what lies behind this feeling, you will be able to control your emotions, making your responses more conscious and less impulsive. Are slips of the tongue or impulsive behaviors really accidents, or are they reflections of something deeper within us? What might be hidden in your unconscious that you have yet to explore? Sigmund Freud is widely recognized for his contributions to the study of the human mind, particularly for introducing the concept of the subconscious. He was the pioneer in suggesting that, beyond the conscious mind, there exists a powerful unconscious layer that directly influences our behaviors, thoughts, and emotions. Born in 1856 in what was then the Austro-Hungarian Empire, Freud showed an early interest in science and medicine. During his years at the University of Vienna's medical school, he began to delve into the study of neurology and mental disorders, fields that would later become crucial to his groundbreaking discoveries. Freud's theories were heavily influenced by the work of Jean-Martin Charcot, who researched hypnosis and hysteria. It was during this period that Freud began to realize that many physical symptoms could have hidden psychological roots. One of his greatest advances was the formulation of a structure for the human mind, divided into 3 parts. The first of these levels is the conscious, which encompasses everything we perceive and experience in the present moment, our thoughts, feelings, and sensations. The second level is the pre-conscious, which acts as a bridge between the conscious and the unconscious, containing memories and information that are not actively in our mind, but can be easily accessed. Finally, the third level is the unconscious or subconscious, where repressed desires, traumas, and experiences reside. These are suppressed from consciousness because they are too emotionally intense or in conflict with societal norms. To explore the deepest and most hidden parts of the mind, Freud developed psychoanalysis as a method of investigation and treatment. One of the pillars of this technique is the use of free associations, where the patient is encouraged to verbalize any thought that comes to mind without trying to censor or filter their words. This approach helps bypass the internal censor that typically blocks access to subconscious content. Another essential aspect of psychoanalysis is the interpretation of dreams. In his seminal work, The Interpretation of Dreams, published in 1899, Freud argues that dreams are the royal road to accessing the subconscious. He believed that dreams represent repressed desires expressed symbolically, as they cannot be realized or acknowledged in conscious life. This was particularly true for childhood traumas or sexual desires that had been suppressed into the subconscious. Freud also suggested that the subconscious houses desires and impulses that conflict with the moral and social norms we learn throughout life. These repressed desires may emerge in disguised forms, leading to symptoms of anxiety, neuroses, or even physical manifestations without any apparent medical cause. One of the main defense mechanisms described by Freud is repression, which involves suppressing painful or unacceptable memories or desires into the subconscious to protect the psyche from emotional discomfort. However, this repression is not foolproof. The repressed content of the subconscious constantly seeks ways to express itself, whether through dreams, slips of the tongue, the so-called Freudian slips, or sudden emotional outbursts. One of Freud's greatest legacies in the study of the subconscious was his innovative approach to dream analysis. To him, dreams represented a safe space where repressed desires could manifest, but in a symbolic and disguised manner. Through his theory of the latent content of dreams, Freud argued that these hidden desires were expressed through symbols. For example, dreaming of flying could represent a need for freedom or a desire to overcome barriers, while nightmares might reveal deep fears or unresolved traumas. Freud believed that the interpretation of dreams was a valuable tool for uncovering repressed desires and conflicts in a person's subconscious. By deciphering these symbols, he claimed it was possible to better understand how these hidden aspects influence daily life and contribute to behavior and mental health. Freud also suggested that many mental disorders, such as hysteria, had their roots in these unconscious conflicts. According to Freud, neuroses were the direct result of repressed conflicts in the subconscious. For example, someone suffering from anxiety might not be aware that the true cause of their distress lies in repressed traumas or experiences, often related to childhood. Freud also posited that the repression of sexual desires, particularly those related to childhood sexuality, could be the source of various mental pathologies. Although his theories about childhood and sexuality generated much controversy, they laid the foundation for later studies in psychotherapy and psychoanalysis. One of Freud's most notable contributions to psychology was the formulation of the Oedipus complex, which he believed occurs in all children between the ages of 3 and 6. During this phase, the child develops an unconscious attraction to the parent of the opposite sex while simultaneously feeling a sense of rivalry with the parent of the same sex. For Freud, this internal conflict is fundamental in the formation of personality and could be the root of many neuroses. If the conflict is not adequately resolved, it is repressed in the subconscious, potentially leading to emotional and relational difficulties later in life. Freud was also a pioneer in introducing the concept of the subconscious, revealing that a significant portion of our mind operates outside of conscious awareness. His theories on repression and the symbolic interpretation of dreams continue to be used in psychotherapy, helping people to uncover their hidden behaviors and emotions. While some of his ideas have been revised or criticized over time, Freud's contribution to the understanding of the subconscious remains indisputable. He showed us that our actions and thoughts can be driven by unconscious forces that shape our behavior. What do you think might be hidden in your shadow? And what would it be like to confront these hidden aspects? Could we be ignoring valuable parts of ourselves, like creativity, out of fear of not meeting expectations? Another crucial figure in the history of psychology is Carl Gustav Jung, who was initially a student and collaborator of Freud. Jung was deeply influenced by Freudian theories, particularly on the unconscious and psychoanalysis. However, over time, Jung began to develop his own ideas, diverging from Freud on important aspects, which eventually led to their break. This split gave rise to a new school of thought in psychology, known as analytical psychology, marked by new approaches to studying the mind and human psyche. When Jung encountered Freud's work, he was deeply intrigued by the idea of the unconscious, especially the concept that our mind hides hidden layers that affect our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. The partnership between the two grew quickly, and Jung became enthusiastic about Freudian theories, particularly the idea that repressed desires, especially of a sexual nature, played a crucial role in the development of neuroses and other mental disorders. Over time, Jung became one of Freud's main followers, even being considered his intellectual successor. However, as Jung delved deeper into his studies, fundamental differences in their views on the unconscious began to emerge. While Freud believed that the unconscious was essentially shaped by repressed sexual desires and conflicts related to childhood sexuality, Jung had a broader perspective. For Jung, the unconscious was far more complex than Freud proposed. He believed that, in addition to the personal experiences stored in the individual unconscious, there was a deeper universal layer that he called the collective unconscious. According to Jung, this part of the unconscious was shared by all of humanity, containing archetypes, universal images and symbols that transcend cultures. These archetypes are passed down from generation to generation through myths, legends, and dreams, forming a common foundation of human experiences that shape our psyche. This innovative conception significantly expanded the understanding of the unconscious and led Jung to forge a distinct path from Freud, inaugurating his own approach to psychology. Archetypes are universal representations that inhabit the collective unconscious of all human beings. These archaic images manifest through symbols and shape our dreams, myths, fantasies, and even religious beliefs. Unlike Freud, who saw the unconscious as a repository of repressed sexual desires, Jung believed that the unconscious was a rich source of wisdom and creativity. He believed that working with these archetypes was essential for achieving psychological wholeness. Jung identified several fundamental archetypes that are repeated throughout stories and culture. The hero. This archetype represents the figure who embarks on a challenging journey, facing enemies and obstacles to achieve wisdom, victory, or salvation. The mentor. This is the wise guide or teacher who helps the hero, offering valuable advice and imparting knowledge to aid them in their mission. The shadow. The shadow archetype is the hero's enemy or adversary, representing their inner fears or psychological barriers that must be overcome to achieve their goal. The trickster. A cunning and playful character who challenges the rules, creates confusion and chaos, but often ends up providing unexpected solutions to problems. The outsider. This archetype represents the one who lives on the fringes of society, but who possesses a unique vision or special knowledge that sets them apart from others. The savior. A figure who takes on the role of redeemer or liberator, often sacrificing themselves to bring salvation or fulfill a grand destiny. The seeker. A hero constantly on the move, in search of new challenges, knowledge, or experiences. This archetype symbolizes the eternal quest for something beyond the known. The orphan, a character who, after losing their home or family support, must face the world alone, rebuilding their life with their own resources. The ruler. This archetype represents the figure of power, someone who seeks to rule with authority and control. The ruler often faces complex dilemmas between what is morally right and what duty requires, reflecting the tension between leadership and responsibility. The creator, a figure who is constantly seeking innovation, whether in art, technology, or ideas. The creator is driven by a desire for perfection and the need to leave something new and lasting for the world. The lover, driven by passion, the lover is deeply connected to another person, idea, or cause. They are willing to make sacrifices in the name of love, and their journey often revolves around the pursuit of emotional connection and intimacy. The sage, symbolizing wisdom and knowledge, the sage is a character inclined toward deep reflection. He offers guidance and insights to others based on his experience and philosophical understanding of life. The fool, or clown. This archetype brings lightness and humor, often through carefree or irreverent behavior. However, the fool frequently uses humor to challenge social norms and protect the vulnerable, subtly criticizing the status quo. These archetypes are easily recognizable because they permeate literature, cinema, and myths across various cultures. They reflect fundamental aspects of the human condition, resonating in our stories and behaviors throughout the centuries. One of the most significant concepts introduced by Jung was his theory of the shadow. The shadow consists of the aspects of our personality that we repress or deny because we consider them unacceptable, such as aggression, jealousy, or other traits that conflict with our moral and social standards. However, we do not only repress negative characteristics. Positive aspects such as courage or creativity can also be suppressed when they do not align with the idealized image we have of ourselves. Jung believed that true psychological health could only be achieved when we acknowledge and integrate these elements of the shadow. If ignored, these traits can manifest as projections, where we see in others the traits that actually belong to us. Working with the repressed aspects of the personality, known as the shadow, does not mean allowing it to dominate us, but rather recognizing its existence and learning how to handle its power. Unlike Freud, who placed greater emphasis on the conscious mind, Jung believed that the fundamental goal of the human being should be the pursuit of wholeness through a process he called individuation. Individuation is the path of awareness and integration of all parts of the personality, including the shadow, the archetypes, and other unconscious elements. According to Jung, only by following this path can we achieve the true essence of who we are and become complete beings. This process involves recognizing and accepting the various facets of ourselves, promoting personal growth and inner harmony. The journey of individuation involves understanding our archetypes, accepting the shadow, and establishing a deep connection with the collective unconscious. Jung saw this process as the key to self-realization, allowing for a balance between the conscious and unconscious aspects of the mind. What if the key to connecting with our deeper mind was something as simple as stopping and doing nothing? Can writing truly unlock our deepest desires, or are we just scratching the surface? Although Jung was a student of Freud and held great respect for his work, their divergent views ultimately drove them apart. For Freud, the unconscious was strongly tied to the repression of sexual impulses, while Jung saw it in a broader sense, as a repository encompassing the entire human experience. Additionally, Jung believed that the unconscious was also the source of spiritual development, an idea Freud rejected, considering it a deviation from strict scientific principles. The disagreements between Jung and Freud intensified to such an extent that in 1913, the two definitively broke ties. This rupture marked the beginning of a new phase for Jung, who went on to develop his own theory of the psyche, giving rise to analytical psychology. Carl Jung's ideas continue to have a profound impact on modern psychology, especially in the fields of depth psychology, dream studies, and the exploration of archetypes. His approach, which includes concepts like shadow integration, offers a broader and richer view of the human mind compared to Freud's. Jung taught us that the unconscious is not just a repository of repressed fears and desires, but also a source of wisdom and creative potential that can guide us towards self-knowledge and wholeness. His works have deeply influenced both therapists and researchers and remain a central part of contemporary psychotherapy. When it comes to working with the subconscious, each of us possesses unique creativity and faces distinct challenges. A fundamental aspect of accessing the subconscious is breaking away from habits that distract us. The habit of mindlessly scrolling through videos can mentally exhaust us and disconnect us from our own subconscious. The best way to restore this connection is often through simplicity, doing absolutely nothing. By lying down and allowing yourself to simply rest, without external stimuli, your subconscious will naturally begin to produce new ideas and thoughts. Everything we've discussed so far provides a holistic approach for people to better understand their subconscious and learn to work with it. However, there is a universal tool that everyone can use: a notebook and a pen. When we are in a calm state, we can freely write the flow of our consciousness without censorship or judgment. This exercise allows us to discover more about who we are and what our true desires are. By stepping away from the distractions of the external world, we open the door to the infinite possibilities of our inner world. We've come to the end of another chapter in this journey, and I can only start by thanking you for your courage and curiosity in exploring something so deep and transformative. Think about it. While many are content with the surface, you chose to dive deep, embarking on a quest for self-knowledge and understanding that few dare to face. And that in itself is already an extraordinary step. Throughout this video, we talked about the inner mirror, about how the subconscious shapes our decisions, our fears, our dreams. But what truly matters is that by reaching this point, you've already taken the first steps to becoming the master of this mirror. Each concept we explored is a key, and with every minute you watched, you picked up a new key to unlock the deepest secrets of your mind. And here, I want to pause and invite you to reflect. Imagine how many other people, just like you, are seeking these answers but have not yet found the path. If this video touched something inside you, if it ignited that flame of self-knowledge, why not help others embark on this journey as well? By liking this video, sharing your insights in the comments, and subscribing to the channel, you are opening doors for more seekers, like you, to find these hidden treasures within themselves. Think of it as a way to expand this community of inner explorers, where together we can uncover even more mysteries of the mind and subconscious. It's fascinating to think that, while many continue to be passengers in their own lives, you are positioning yourself as the captain of your destiny. Like an archaeologist, you've dug into the deepest layers of your being, dusted off old memories and beliefs, and started to see what truly lies behind your decisions. This is not something trivial. It's a real transformation in progress. Throughout this journey, it's as if you made a pact with yourself, no longer to be ruled by autopilot, but to become a conscious observer, someone who understands that the power to change lies within. And that is grand. Many seek answers outside, but you are finding yours within, where they've always been. And this doesn't end here. You might ask yourself, what do I do now with all this knowledge? The answer is simple, yet powerful. Continue down this path. Keep investigating what your subconscious reveals to you, because the rewards are immense. Every time you apply what you've learned, every practice of visualization, meditation, every moment of reflection, you will be shaping not only your present, but your future. The small internal changes you are cultivating now have the potential to create great transformations over time. And I invite you to see this not as the end of a video, but as the beginning of a new phase in your life, because that's exactly what you've just unlocked. A new way of seeing the world, your choices, your emotions, your dreams. Imagine yourself sometime from now, looking back and realizing how much your life has changed because you had the courage to dive into this inner mirror, to recognize the power of your subconscious, to not run from the challenges it presents, but instead to face them with determination. The gratitude I feel for your presence here is immense, because you are not just another person who watched the video until the end. You are a true seeker, someone committed to growing, evolving, and taking control of their own life. And that inspires me deeply. You are among the few who are not afraid to look within, to acknowledge that the unknown can be revealing, and that the parts of us we avoid confronting are precisely the ones that offer the greatest opportunity for transformation.